Hello, everyone. I am Lisa J. Stocks, back from my Sunday Stock Talk episode. Welcome in. So, today I'm going to be talking about some things that were on my mind as we come to the end of the year. And I've been talking about this for months. If you've been here for a while, in June, I'm giving you your reminder that you have 6 months until Christmas. So if you haven't been saving, if you haven't been planning to get on track with that so that you're not going into debt when the holidays come. 2 months ago, I did a live giving the countdown to 85 days left in 2024 and 51 days till Thanksgiving and 78 days till Christmas. And basically, just giving encouragement that if you are not, um, if you're waiting for to make a New Year's resolution, that you don't have to wait. I'm here to support you and let's just get it going. But if there is something that you need to get on track with for the new year, I'm going to start off by talking about that. So many of us start off with resolutions, whether it's fitness or career goals, or of course, what we talk about here, improving your financial health. I want us to succeed. I don't want us to start in January and be falling off by February with our New Year's resolution, which is what happens quite often. I want to see us make it all the way to December 2025 and beyond with our goals and our plans that we want to get started with for the new year. So, thank you for everyone who's tuning in. Thank you for those over on TikTok. Feel free to come over and join the conversation on YouTube. So, let's start with some motivational tips. When it comes to getting started with your resolution, many times, as I said, people are failing and falling off by the time we get to February. And that's because they go all in, they get overwhelmed with whatever the goal is. So start small and build up because we want to be consistent. Like I said, we want to make it through the whole year and beyond. And don't let yourself get off track and just fall off that quickly with what we're trying to accomplish. Let's create consistent habits. And for instance, start off small and work your way up. If you need to, don't overwhelm yourself saying, I'm going to invest whatever dollar amount, or I'm going to save this dollar amount. And then so quickly something happens and you're off track and you're feeling bad. And then weeks pass. Let's not do it like that. Whatever it is, just be consistent. Don't get overwhelmed. Even if you have to cut back on the amount that you initially planned, you're never going to stop because we're going to keep this going all year long. So track your progress, write down your goals, check in on it weekly and celebrate those wins, no matter how small, know that you are making efforts and you are making strides towards achieving those goals. If there is someone in your life that you can talk to about whatever you are focused on, then maybe they can be an accountability partner, a buddy to be on this journey with you, or at least for you to share where you're at on it and then get some encouragement. And, feel free to reach out to me if you want me to be your accountability buddy, partner in your goals. Maybe I can be the one to try to help you out with that. So, another thing that's always on my mind is finding the money to achieve those goals. So, cut costs where you can. And, as we're starting the new year, if you haven't done this recently, maybe you can take some time to try to negotiate your bills, check in with that internet provider, the insurance company, even your gym. Are you in the plan that you really need to be in? Are you your expenses? Is there anywhere that you can cut some expenses? And let me think of what else I have here. So saving $20 on, digging into those expenses, it might not sound like much, but if you can add that to your emergency funds, or if there is a young person in your household that doesn't have a savings account or an investment account, $20 might not sound like much, but it's something. And in time, that can build and grow substantially, especially if you're making that commitment for someone to do that long term for the next 10, 15, 18 years. So don't take any amount as too small, in my opinion, the same way that I feel about, prioritizing where you have your savings at. It's, I definitely am glad for every bit of the interest that I earn from having my high yield savings account. So, as well as having my money sitting in my investment apps and getting, around 4.0 APY. So it all adds up, and it might be pennies a day, but I'll take it. And keep your financial goals in mind. Um, there might not be any unexpected opportunities this year that you come into some extra cash, but if you do get a bonus, if for some reason you did overpay your escrow, if you get a gift from someone, you get a raise, of course, something like that, some extra money that comes in, don't just spend it. Allocate some of that towards the goals that you have for yourself, and let me know. Let me know, what are your goals for 2025? Is there something that you're starting as a resolution, or is there something that you have recently, added into your investment strategy for 2025? All right. So I just want to keep us all motivated as we go into 25. And I want us to be successful. And I would love to hear from you guys, what is on your minds of any changes that you're going to be making. So that's it for the New Year's resolution piece. But like I said, I've been talking about that part for months already. So now, is anybody stressed out about another very red week that we ended with on the stock market and want to talk about that? Let me know in the chat. If not, I'm probably going to move on to something else, but I can come back to that. Hey, Jaleel, I see you over there. Thanks for tuning in. Miss Sue. Thanks, Denise and Steve and M3 for tuning in. So, okay. So now let's move on to um, another point that I always have on my mind is that you can't save or work your way to wealth. And that's why obviously I always talk about it's important to have savings, because savings is what's going to keep us out of debt. It is a crucial part of our financial well being, but it won't grow your wealth. Inflation will just eat away at the value of your savings over time, which is why I believe, and I try to share my investing journey here, because I believe that investing is so important. So, high yield savings account, they're great. We're still, like probably around 4% there. So, if you have your money sitting in savings, which I believe we all should have some savings, that's about what you're going to be gaining on your cash sitting in a savings account right now. But as the rates come down, that's going to come down also. So we can't think of our savings as investing. Investing in savings, even with what's been going on with the rates being higher over the last few years, it's good. It's good to have, but we have to, in my opinion, and what I'm prioritizing is making sure that you have a reasonable amount in savings, but at the same time being very focused on investing, because that is where you will really grow your money, where you will get at least an 8% of rate of return, which is a very modest number to say, because when we think about what the S&P has done over the last year. Let me just check on what it is. So year to date, up 26.05%. So that's the way that at a minimum, I want to see our money growing. Many of the Fortune 500 companies, those big tech stocks have much more significant growth than that, but that is my bar that I try to set for all of my investments. And I want to just continue to encourage you guys to, if you're not already, make sure that you are prioritizing investing for the long term. So, what else do I have here? Breaking the cycle of overspending is another thought that I always think that we need to evaluate. Are we going to be having any big expenses as we come into 2025? Housing, cars, education, these are very important things and a priority, but it's a matter of not overdoing it. Do you need a new car? Can you buy a used car? Is or a different brand, different make and model of a car that is not going to be so expensive, in order to make sure that you're making every effort to leave some room for investing. It's important for us to find that balance. So those savings can then go straight to your portfolio and be working for you, and that's what I wanna see for us. I wanna see us not having so many material things, but being able to have our money grow and be there for us. And obviously, I know we all need vacations and those some luxuries in life, but just keep it as reasonable as possible so that you can then be on track to save for the bigger things that we need to prioritize, especially our retirement and taking care of our older selves. So, thanks, SBK, for tuning in and Backyard Trucker. And Denise, you over here talking to Nightbot? Okay. Nightbot, I don't know what I don't even remember what prompts I have in there that Nightbot would be talking back to you, but I'm sure they would if they see the message. So let's see, what else did I have? So what area are you guys thinking about where you can cut back and invest more? Is there anything that you've been taking a look at in your budget in order to see if there is anything that can then go to savings or investing, depending on where you're at in your journey right now? I know last week I was sharing that the XM radio is a place, but that I might cut completely. But I'm always taking the time to uh, call my whatever different providers bills that I have to see, is there any discounts available? Is there anything that I can adjust in order to save money? So thanks for sharing, Backyard Trucker. Well, you're on the road, so I don't know, is that the reason why you're eating out so much? But if you know that you can do better on meal prepping and having things with you instead of buying takeout, then I'm glad to see that you're ready to face that and cut back there. Okay. All right. So another thing that I had on my mind as we approach the end of the year is that we all know, or I know in my experience, I let me know in the chat, does anyone feel like they got in elementary school, middle school, high school, um anything, any knowledge as to about financial education? So I know I did not, and I feel like, w we know this in many places, in most places. I doubt that anyone here is gonna disagree with what I'm saying. So, we never learn these things in school. We're not gonna learn about investing. We need to as we figure it out, I want to encourage you to teach the young people around you. I know they probably don't wanna listen, but this is important information, and little by little, I want to just encourage people to not let if you came into adulthood and you're behind, you're in your 40s or whatever stage of life, and you feel like, I wish I would have known this sooner, make sure that the young people around you, especially your own children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, that they know uh, how to go about making a better financial future for themselves from the start. So, okay. So, M3, what are you sharing here? The first time was on your financial knowledge came from KGU and watching Larry Jones. Okay, okay. So, is there anyone now that you're learning and growing, is there anyone that you're passing this knowledge on to? Your siblings, your children? Is there anybody in your life that you now as you are learning and growing that you're passing on information to them, or are you trying to and they're unwilling or uninterested? I know that's a situation, but I'm going to try, especially with my daughter. I'm going to try my best to have her on board and at least have an understanding of different things. We went to the store last night, and as we were driving to the store, I was asking her, "Do you understand the concept of insurance?" And car insurance. Like, just tell me what it is that you think. And then after that, after she you talked to me a little bit about that, and I was like, okay, so explain to me, what do you think what is the concept that you understand about life insurance? And she told me what she thought it was and how she thought it went and her understanding of it. And um, I then explained to her the real deal of what is going on in those 2 areas when it comes to our own household. So, um, we're going to the store anyways. I don't wanna bore her and overwhelm her with these things, but I take those little times. I think she's picking up on it. I think she knows what my intention is to ask her these questions. And I think I was talking about it last week. I had asked her about dividends and gave her a little talk about that. But, little by little, I want her to have an understanding. I want her to, um, she's not interested in picking her own investments, but I want her to understand the concepts, all of the concepts of investing and running a household and budgeting and the basics. Because, like I said, this is something that school does not teach, and it's a necessity to be successful in life. So M3 is saying that you have a 4-year-old son. Well, that's very young, but yeah, be ready. And, little by little, as they understand the different concepts, that I'm glad that you now know and can share this with him. Does he have any investments or savings yet for, that's in his name? I know I was not on track with that when either one of my daughters was 4. It wasn't until my youngest daughter was probably close to 10 that I became open and interested and found out that, you know, that all of these things that I talk about on my channel are for me and for most people. Most people can fit this into their budget. It's just a matter of, scaling it to what fits your particular household. Now, I can't say, how many kids you have, how much you're able to invest on their behalf. It's all going to vary, but I wasn't even. At some point, I wasn't even open to the concept of having other types of investments outside of my 401k. And now I'm totally on board with all of it. So he has an Acorns account. Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. So another thing that we're always talking about, or I'm always talking about over here, is that diversify your portfolio. Be ready for the ups and downs of the stock market. Now, where I have no one knows what is gonna come, but I'm a long-term investor, especially when it comes to retirement, of course. So we have to be ready for the ups and downs and have a diversified portfolio spread across different types of sectors, ETFs, stocks. I have real estate also. So I want to make sure that I'm covered and um, not all in on tech, for example. Just seeing, what the good fit is for you. I am heavily invested into stocks as opposed to bonds and other things like that because I feel that right now with the way the economy has been for the last few years, that's where the growth is going to be. And it is, and I am heavily also focused on those tech stocks when it comes to my growth portfolio that I'm doing outside of my retirement accounts, but because I incorporate those ETFs and like SCHD and VTI, I am still gaining that balance of having a diversified portfolio and getting paid dividends that can then help me to build up my position. So for 2025, I'm just going to continue to be consistent for the long term, sticking to my plan, not letting the market distract me, dollar cost averaging the same way that I have been, no matter what the market is doing. And of course, keeping my eyes open to, if my budget allows for it, be ready to go harder on those times when a stock is severely beat down. Not everything. I not can't you can't I've done that in the past a few years ago where I was DCAing into something that was on the way down and it was not a quality investment. But now I think I have my portfolio to the place where it is truly those good quality blue chip stocks and ETFs and Main Street Capital, the BDC, that is one of my current favorites in my portfolio. Strong performance and monthly dividends and an extra dividend on the quarter. So those type of investments, yes, on those red days, on those days where it's a severe pullback, maybe a few percentage, then I will be going harder and staying consistent with building them up. So, guys, what is your strategy when it comes to diversifying your portfolio? I've had several people share with me like they were 100% into individual stocks. But thankfully, I'll tell you, when people have shared that with me, um, it's been Apple, NVIDIA, and Amazon, for example. So even though they were all into individual stocks, I had a feeling, even without seeing their portfolio, that they were doing okay with those particular choices. I know that those have not disappointed me, along with a few others, but I have chosen to build my foundation of my portfolio on those ETFs. And I do incorporate some trading options and things like that into my portfolio building and my personal investing and trading journey. So usually that is a weekly thing that will occur that I will incorporate. So So whether it's a New Year's resolution or just taking the time to check on the performance of your investment portfolio, making sure that you are staying consistent and that you have a clear plan and you are on track for success. Um, I want to be here with you to celebrate those wins, and I want to see us all stay focused on the big picture. So, is there any like is there any goals that anyone wants to share? I know a lot of people often say that they're waiting to they're working towards like that first $100,000 or a certain milestone when it comes to their investment account. And I know that feels good, and I know it can be stressful, especially when as you build to those larger amounts, and then there is a pullback, then you see your account fluctuating by thousands. But don't get shaken out by anything like that that's occurring, because you know if you put in the work and have a good sound investment put together there, like those Fortune 500 companies, those tech stocks, an ETF to that gives you, that broad diversification, then you should be okay. And if you're not performing at least a 26, 27, maybe up to even 32%, if that's not your current performance, then evaluate why. If it's something that you just got to started investing into recently, then I can understand. But if it's been years, then you might want to reconsider why, and dig a little deeper and see if there is something that potentially you may want to change. So, guys, any thoughts, any questions, any topics that you would like me to cover in 2025? So I really haven't taken a station break during the show yet. So if you are new here, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit that notification bell. If you haven't already, give this video a thumbs up. I see I think there are at least 6 people in the chat that have not given a thumbs up. So the one you have the Vanguard 500, VFAIX, and Apple Inc. is my foundation for investments. Yeah, I would say that that's mine too. So I was very heavily invested into Apple stock unintentionally. It was before I had a plan of incorporating those ETFs. But like I said, it did not disappoint. And as an individual stock, um, I pretty much have incorporated those Mag 7 stocks, Tesla, Meta, Microsoft, and they're all doing well. And, I've kind of left a lot of the other stocks that I at one point considered investments before I had a clear understanding of trade and investments. I've left those alone. And now I know when I get into something, if it is a trade, I know that from the start, and the plan is set from the start, and the stop loss is going to be on, and I'm going to be watching it and monitoring it and making sure that in something like that I'm getting in low and getting out high. But that is not the biggest portion of my focus is primarily just that long-term investing. So those are going to be my more uh set it and forget it, not constantly having to worry, because they are things that I know will thrive and grow over time. So, hey Sledge, thanks for tuning in. So, happy early birthday to you, Sledge, and happy birthday to any Capricorns in the chat. Our birthdays are not until next month, but I'll just be celebrating and reaching out to find out if there are any fellow Capricorns out here until the end of Capricorn season. So let me know if you guys have any questions. What is your favorite, sector when it comes to investing right now? What's thriving in your portfolio? I already shared, tech definitely is leading the way when it comes to my investments. Do you guys have any New Year's resolutions or, um, are you like me and just kinda push yourself whenever as something comes up, do you just push yourself to make the plan and not hold off to wait until the end of the month or the quarter or payday? Just see, "Can I do this today?" Yes, definitely. Okay, so guys, make sure you have that notification bell on so that you can keep up with all of my videos and live streams. I go live every Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes, agreed, Sledge. That's what I said. That's how I kicked off the show. Why wait? Start today. I try to give everyone a reminder, but since we are here knocking on the door of 2025, if it hasn't gotten done already, we can still get it going. And I want everyone to thrive and not be falling off the wagon by the time we get to February. Be consistent, make realistic goals that you can stay on top of, and make sure that we make it all the way to 2025 and beyond with the goals that we are setting for ourselves. So M3, you're building more of a crypto account. Okay. So long term and short term there, trades and a long term portfolio. I currently do not have any crypto that I am holding as a trade, but I'm open to it. I'm open to it. But I have not traded any crypto recently. In the past, I have traded crypto and crypto miners, but yes. And I definitely, over the last few weeks, I added a little bit more to my Bitcoin, added XRP for the first time, and added to my Ethereum for the long term. Okay. So, guys, I am going to sign off for today. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know if you have any questions. And let me see. Okay. What stock index fund or ETF is your investment foundation built on? I would say for in my retirement account, which I'm doing at Fidelity, I use FXAIX is my main one there. And then it's kind of a there is a lot of overlap here, but I have both VTI and VOO and when it comes to my taxable accounts. But SPLG, I would uh, I would definitely consider that for uh, S&P 500 exposure if you are starting new. I'm not starting new. I've already been building into my VOO, and I'm not inclined to change. But those are my ETFs that I focus on for my main foundation. The other ETFs that I have in my portfolio are SCHD and SPHD. If you want to take a look at those. But you could definitely go with either one, VCI or VOO. I believe historically VOO has a slightly higher, um, rate of return. Yes, thanks for the question, Sledge. I definitely would recommend that beginners start with an ETF or index fund. because it is simple. It gives you diversification. It gives you exposure to many different stocks, sectors. You get paid a quarterly dividend, and while you're working on your knowledge and just getting started, you could stay at that point. You don't have to go beyond it, but it is a way that anyone could get started with investing. It's just a matter of picking the right funds that gives you the exposure that you want, as well as does not have high fees that are going to eat away at your returns. So the ones that I've mentioned definitely fit into that for me, with an expense ratio, VTI and VOO 0.03, and FXAAX at 0.015. But that's only going to be available to you at Fidelity. But that works for me because I have all of my retirement accounts there, and I don't plan on leaving them. If anything, in my personal experience, what I've done is close accounts at Empowerment, for example, and moved it to Fidelity. But I don't think that anyone should ever be waiting to get started investing, whether it's budget or not knowing what to invest into, because uh, really, there are brokerage companies and there are ways to get started with very small amounts. So no one needs to wait. The one, do more lives. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. So, all right. If you're here chatting, the one that will give me incentive to you chat and give me questions, that will give me more incentive to do lives. You have Fidelity and Charles Schwab. I've never worked for a company or had any experience with Charles Schwab. So, and I try to always let you guys know that when I say things, if it's not from personal experience, that, I'm talking about my journey here. So it was something that, it wasn't Robin Hood. Oh, yeah, well, never mind. It's not stock related. But guys, yeah, I just wanted to, you know, check in and see how everyone is feeling as we're going into 2025. As I said, make sure to drop me any comments or video requests that you have. I'm taking note on the more lives. Thanks for saying that, guys. And I will try to come up with some more topics for us to talk about live. But, okay. All right. So, guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope you all have a great and safe new year. And I will be back next Sunday. And thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you all, and be safe out there. Asset style, private chat, banners.
And to investments, she make a lot on YouTube. Lisa J Stocks. Lisa J Stocks, that's the channel. Hey. If you wanna make some money, visit Lisa J Stocks. Yeah, you will make a lot. If you wanna make some money,